Okay, sorry I cut that last video a bit short. When I film on my iPod, it only lets me go up to about 10 minutes. So, sorry to waste your time talking about that. So I'm going to finish the request by talking about the Marauders. Okay, so I don't really know much about the Marauders because I haven't read all of the books recently. So I guess if there was anything lengthy talking about the Marauders, I honestly do not remember, and I'm really sorry about that. But I guess, I mean, I can talk about them now. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Well, I just mean James. I don't know a lot about James. I do know that he reminds me of Fred and George, but a more brunette version, to be honest. Except, you know, just kind of mean, based on just what we've seen him do to Snape. And I'm not going to start talking about Snape again, because that would take too long. So we know that he's kind of arrogant and mean, but he's also a very fun trickster, and obviously he was a lovable person, and he matured, because what do you know, Lily Evans married him and had his child. I think that says something very important. So I do admire him, and I don't know a lot about him, but from what I do know, I can base that he is a good character, no matter what Sour Grape Snape has to say about it. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Peter Pettigrew. I don't really have much to say, other than I think he was a coward and he didn't belong in Gryffindor. I don't know why Joe put him there. I guess it's so he could become part of the Marauders and turn on them. Maybe it was just for the later on plot. But I don't know. I don't think that he belonged in Gryffindor. But except for that moment at the end of Deathly Hallows when he lets Harry go. I think that's what happens. I haven't read it in a while. But he lets Harry go and he chokes himself. And I think that showed a bit of courage, but obviously not enough to make me believe that he did belong in Gryffindor. And I'm not sure whether he really did, but based on that one act of courage, I just, you know, I don't think it's enough to be a Gryffindor, because they're brave and courageous all the time and not cowards, which he was as a Death Eater. He was just a Death Eater because he was afraid of Lord Voldemort and he wanted to be on the good side. So I don't really admire him because, 1, he's a jerk, 2, he's a rat, figuratively and literally, 3, he's a butt trumpet, 4, his face really freaks me out. I am not kidding. I mean, I have nothing against Timothy Spall. I haven't seen him in any other movies, but I know that his appearance when changed with Harry Potter makeup and everything as Peter Pettigrew, he actually scares me. I think that his face makes me want to throw up. It's really nasty, and it does remind me of a rat, so good job, makeup team. But it's really actually quite frightening and disgusting. Really disgusting. It frightens me a lot. Lupin I have talked about before. He is one of my absolute favorite characters, if not the most favorite character of mine. He is brilliant. He's fantastic. He's cool. He would be even cooler if he wore a bow tie. I think that he should have been someone who wore a bow tie because bow ties are cool. And I think it would have really added to his personality. But I guess, you know, he was okay without a bow tie. But I think he's a pretty cool teacher. You know, stopping the Dementor on the train, just knowing everything and like being all homeless and asleep, to like, expecto patronum, and here, have some chocolate. I mean, personally, I wouldn't really take chocolate from someone I had no idea who they are, but I don't know. At least it wasn't drugged or anything that we know of. So yeah, he's really cool and as a werewolf, and I feel so bad for him, and he was one of the worst deaths. And yeah, it was really depressing when he died. I couldn't even believe it. It was ridiculous. And I just couldn't stand it, because he was one of my favorite characters, just being so fun and cool and smart and clever and just overall absolutely awesome. Rockin' awesome. Who do we have left here? Sirius. I have already talked about Sirius in a different video, but I guess I could just recap a bit on him. I think he was a really cool godfather, and he's everything that a godfather should be. He cared for Harry, obviously, a lot, and, you know, he was a perfect replacement father as far as replacement fathers go. You know, not to say that he could, like, you know, rightfully, perfectly replace your real dead father, but as a godfather, replacing the dead father, but not, you know, replacing, just being there to do what fathers do. He was pretty cool. Pretty good at that job. That's a good job, mate. Timmy. Yeah, you won't understand that, everyone else, but that's okay. So yeah, I just think he was a really great, great wizard, and I really wish that he hadn't have died. It was really depressing, especially in the movie, because it's always more depressing in the movies because you can see it come to life, and then it's even worse. But yeah, it was really sad seeing him die. No one wanted to see him go. He was really cool. And, you know, I like to bring up the fact when I'm talking about him that, remember, he just got out of Azkaban and he has no money that we know of whatsoever. And poof! Oh, Harry, I'm sending you a brand new fireball, the fastest broom in the universe. And I didn't have any money. And I'm cleverly attaching Buckbeak's feather to it so you know who sent it. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so that's it for this analyzation video. If you have any suggestions, comments, agreements, or anything, just put them in the thing below. It's called the comment box for you non-techies. And Moonshoes out.